When you were 7 years old, summer felt like it lasted forever. Right now, an entire year disappears in what feels like a long weekend. Same 365 days, same 8,760 hours. So, why does time feel like it's speeding up? And is there anything you can actually do to slow it down? Stick with me because the answer isn't just you're getting older. It's about how your brain is secretly lying to you every single day. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to hack it. Here's the first mind-blowing part. When you're 5 years old, 1 year is 20% of your entire life. It's massive. It's practically forever. But when you're 40 years old, that same 1 year is just 2.5% of your life. Mathematically, it's smaller. It's a smaller slice of the pie every single year. This is called the proportional theory of time, and it was first proposed by a French philosopher named Paul Janet back in the 1800s. Basically, Jans, your brain doesn't measure time in hours and minutes. It measures time relative to how much life you've already lived, which means technically, every year of your life really is speeding up. It's not just a feeling, it's math. But that's only half the story, because math alone doesn't explain why a 2-week vacation can feel longer than 6 normal months. There's something else going on. Here's the part that changes everything. Your brain doesn't actually experience time in real time. It reconstructs time afterward using memories. Think about it. You never consciously feel time passing while you're distracted. You only notice it later when you look back. And here's the key. Your brain measures a period of time based on how many new memories it created during that period. New experiences, new places, new people, new information. That's why a week in a brand new country feels like it lasted forever. Your brain was recording constantly. Every street, every meal, every face was new, so it stored tons of memory markers. But a week where you wake up, commute, sit at the same desk, scroll the same apps, and go to sleep, your brain barely tags anything as new. It compresses that entire week into almost nothing. It might as well not have happened. This is called the holiday paradox. Psychologist Claudia Hammond studied it extensively. Vacations feel long while you're living them because there's so much novelty, but they feel short in hindsight because they were a small chunk of your calendar. But routine is the opposite. A boring week feels like it drags on forever while you're in it, but when you look back on it months later, it's a blur. It practically disappears. So here's the uncomfortable truth. If your life feels like it's flying by, it might not be your age. It might be your routine. Now here's where it gets even more interesting, because there's a modern villain making this worse. Your phone. Every time you open an app, get a notification, or scroll for just a minute, your brain gets a tiny hit of dopamine. But dopamine doesn't just make you feel good, it changes how your brain processes time. Fast, repetitive, low-effort stimulation actually trains your brain to stop encoding rich memories. Scrolling for 2 hours produces almost no distinct memories. It all blends into one gray blur. You could not describe in detail what you saw 10 minutes ago. Compare that to 2 hours of a genuinely new experience. Hiking somewhere you've never been, learning to cook a new dish, having a deep conversation with a stranger. Your brain lights up differently. It files away dozens of distinct memory markers. So the modern lifestyle, full of scrolling, autopilot mornings, and repetitive routines, isn't just wasting your time, it's erasing it, literally shrinking how long that time feels like it existed in your own memory. Here's something researchers have found that sounds almost too strange to be true. When people are asked to recall memories from their entire life, there's a massive spike of memories from ages 15 to 25. It's called the reminiscence bump. Scientists believe this happens because your late teens and early 20s are packed with firsts. First heartbreak, first job, first time living alone, first real failure, first real success. Your brain is wide awake during that decade because everything is new. It's building your identity in real time. But once you hit your late 20s, 30s, 40s, life often becomes a loop. Same job, same commute, same weekend routine. The firsts become rare, and your brain, quietly, stops paying attention. This is why people say their 20s felt like a lifetime, but their 30s flew by in a blink. It's not nostalgia talking. It's literally how many memory files got created during that decade. So, can you fix this? Actually, yes. And it's simpler than you think. 1. Break your routine on purpose. Take a different route. Eat something you've never tried. Your brain doesn't need a trip to Bali to feel time slow down. It just needs something it hasn't seen before. 2. Learn something new, constantly. A skill, a language, an instrument. Learning forces your brain to build new neural pathways, which means more memory markers, which means more time. 3. Cut passive scrolling. Add active experiences. Every hour you replace mindless scrolling with something engaging is an hour your brain will actually remember existed. 4. Take photos and journal, even briefly. This doesn't just preserve memories. The act of reflecting on your day at the end of it forces your brain to encode it more deeply. Time isn't slipping away because you're getting older. It's slipping away because you've stopped giving your brain a reason to remember. So here's the real question. If your last 10 years suddenly flashed before your eyes right now, would you actually remember them? Or would they just blur together like they never even happened? Because the years that fly by fastest are always the ones where nothing new ever happened. Go make something new happen today.